Yeah, where do you think we get the teachings of Jesus?
Oh, well, I'm just saying, I think there are some things in the Bible that obviously, like, the Quran agrees with. So I think it's mostly lost due to, like, translations. I don't know if there's any certain way to prove that certain things were left out on purpose or taken out on purpose or added on purpose. But as far as the translation goes, Christians don't have the entirety of Jesus's revelation in his language, correct?
How do you know what that is? How do you know what his language was?
He spoke Aramaic, no? And
how do you know that?
That's just what I've been told.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna lie, but so do you like what does he speak though? Like, and from where are you getting that?
Well, it's similar to this, and not. By the way, you're right. His main language was Aramaic, but let me tell you why I asked this question, especially to you as a Muslim. It's like asking an atheist, or talking to an atheist who says that, God is evil, for example. Now, what I would ask the atheist is, where do they get this definition of evil from? Where do they get this? Where do they get morality from? Right? Now, we can agree with an atheist on morality, what good is and what is evil, but they don't have a basis for what they call good or evil. We do, which is God, right? So they're stealing from God to argue against him. And it's similar with the Muslim, with you guys. You guys are stealing from Christianity to argue against Christianity. You're saying that we don't have Jesus's teachings and our stuff is fabricated, yet you're stealing from our sources to say Jesus spoke Aramaic or anything like that. So that comes from the Bible, that he spoke Aramaic. Isn't that crazy? So if the Bible,
why would it be fabricated or whatever that he spoke Aramaic?
Well, you're saying that what we have is a fabrication. So how do you?
I told you not in its entirety.
Well, how would you know what is fabricated and what isn't?
Because I believe that Islam is a true religion. So if something goes against it in the Bible, then I'm not going to believe that.
Okay, so where in the Quran does it affirm that Jesus spoke Aramaic?
I don't know, but what I'm asking you is, why would it be a fabrication that he spoke Aramaic?
You're missing the point. If the Bible is a fabrication, right? If it's a fabrication, then you can't trust it. You can't trust it when it says he spoke Aramaic. You don't know if that's fabricated or not. You can't trust it. But you use that as a fact. You say it's a reliable fact that Jesus spoke Aramaic. But when you do that, you're now showing that the Bible is actually reliable and authentic, because that's where you're getting it from.
Okay, well, I mean, wasn't Aramaic like the common language in the first century Judea?
Yes, it was a common language amongst the Jews. So was Koine Greek, was a common tongue, and so was Hebrew. So would have been speaking all three of those, but still, how would you know? Even if something is common, like for example, I used this example with somebody before. If I grew up in China, does that automatically mean that I speak, Chinese or Mandarin or anything like that?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, right? I could be still just grow up speaking English, in my household, even though I grew up in an area where, Mandarin or, whatever is the dominant language. So Jesus speaking Aramaic specifically, that comes from the New Testament, which you guys say is fabricated. So you can't tell me that reliably that Jesus definitely spoke Aramaic. You don't know.
Okay, but even given that, you still believe that he spoke Aramaic, no?
See, and here's the thing. Just like an atheist would believe that molesting a child is wrong, is morally wrong, right? But they can't justify that. They can't justify why that's wrong. They have no basis. Similarly, You and I, the Christian and the Muslim, we both believe Jesus spoke Aramaic, but you have no basis for why you say that. I do.
Okay, but I mean, okay, I don't think that really answered my point, because I'm saying you still believe that he spoke Aramaic, so it's valid to you, which means that if we don't have the entire Bible in Aramaic, then how can we really completely trust it?
Well, how do you know that the Bible was in Aramaic? Where do you get that from?
Well, what I'm saying is that you believe that Jesus spoke Aramaic, and so that
I believe he spoke Greek as well. And
do
Hebrew.
You have the entirety of or when was the Greek Bible standardized?
First century. That's when they wrote the New Testament in Koine Greek.
The New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
So it still comes after him, no?
Yeah, just like the Quran comes after Muhammad.
The Quran came with Muhammad and didn't come after him.
When was it written?
It was written by his companions, by his scribes.
Was that after him or what?
It was during him, because he would recite it.
Okay. Let me just read you something. Because you're talking about standardization, right? When something was legit. You have...
Well, not even just that. I mean, when was it brought about? When was it published?
Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about that, your Quran didn't come until after Muhammad. That's when Abu Bakr sent Zayd after the Battle of Yamama, because a lot of the people who memorized the Quran died off. So they was worried about losing the Quran. And so Abu Bakr sent Zayd bin Thabit to go collect the Quran. So he went to different people who memorized certain things or who had it written down on certain things. Different verses were written down at different places from different people. And he had to collect that and, put it all into one. That happened after Muhammad died.
It was an oral tradition at first, correct?
It was an oral tradition at first, yes.
Okay, so then if people were memorizing this, I'm guessing with Muhammad by their side, and then the Quran was then written down from that memorization, which is authentic, then it's still what
memorization? It's not written down from that memorization. That no, they wasn't memorizing it when they was compiling it. They were going around to different people and had to collect it. And even some of the people told them not to do it. Some people disagreed with what was compiled.
Well, when they compiled it, it was compiled because of the different dialects, no?
No, it was compiled because the people who were memorizing the Quran were dying off. They were dying off in battle. See, they had this bright idea. People who memorized the Quran, they would be protected by Allah, right? Because they memorized the whole Quran. Allah would not let anything happen to them. So they put them in battle, thinking that since Allah is on their side, they would overcome, their enemies. But that backfired. A lot of the people that memorized the Quran ended up getting killed. They weren't protected. So their bubble was bursted. So then they said, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. Let's have the Quran collected from different people. Let's try to collect what we have and put it into one copy.
Right. So I thought that the way it was standardized was because there was different dialects, and they wanted it. Uthman wanted it to be known to everyone, right?
No,
not the way that there's a ton of different Qurans out there.
No, it wasn't different. It wasn't just different dialects. People spoke the same dialect and fought over the Quran. Like Umar and Hisham,
there was a ton of different tribes. What do you mean?
Well, let me tell you. The tribe of Quraysh, for example, Umar and Hisham were both from the Quraysh tribe. They both spoke the same dialect, but even they disagreed on the Quran and fought over it. That's when they came to Muhammad and said, oh, well, it was revealed in 7 different dialects. Wait, hold on. That's not a solution because these two speak the same dialect. So that doesn't solve their problem. You get what I'm saying?
But I don't know where you're getting this from, because it was written down and memorized like continuously, just throughout like history, and
If
even from the point that it was revealed.
if it was memorized, right, and written down continuously with the same exact memorization, then why is it that people who are of the same tribe are fighting each other over their different Qurans?
Okay, who's fighting each other right now over the Quran?
Oh man, in Morocco they banned the Hafs version of the Quran. In Morocco, North Africa, they use the Warsh Quran. While the Quran that you're familiar with, that was standardized in 1924, that one wasn't standard. The one you use, Hafs, wasn't standardized till 1924, and that's the Hafs Quran. That's the one that's mainly used by most Muslims.
Okay.
And this is in dialect. These are little Arabic words that are different. Now, I'm not going to say that the whole thing is different. No, mostly it's the same, but there are a lot of places where it's different. Meanings change, everything. So,
okay, so you're arguing that the Quran isn't original, right?
Yeah, I would say that would be my argument, that your Quran that you have is not original, and there's no way of knowing if it even traces back. It's a big mess.
Okay. So there's a term called tawtar in Arabic. Do you know what it means?
It's called what?
Tawatur.
What does that mean?
Well, you can look it up, but it's basically just it's historical continuity. It's basically just perpetuation.
It's what?
Like by transfer from one generation to the next.
Okay.
So I still don't like, this is like, it was, tradition. I don't understand why. And it was like supervised too. The people that were memorizing it were not just hearing it and then recalling whatever they heard. It was Muhammad himself supervised the memorization and writing.
Who supervised the memorization?
My prophet.
No, he didn't. He didn't supervise the memorization, nor did he supervise the compilation of your Quran or the rewriting of the Quran. He was not there.
Okay, I mean, according to what?
According to Sahih Bukhari, bro. He was dead, right? He was dead, and then Abu Bakr took over. And once Abu Bakr took over, in the time of his, chain of command, he, had the first compilation of the Quran, because people who memorized it were dying off. Okay, a lot of them were. So that's the first compilation. Then, but Umar. So that Quran that they compiled got passed down to Umar, and then to I believe her name was Hafsa, his daughter. Okay, and then Uthman came to be the leader, and then so Uthman had to recompile the Quran. Why? It says because people are differing about the Quran. They're differing about the book, and they were so afraid. It says, this is what they said: "O chief of believers, save us from this before we differ about the book like the Jews and the Christians." So these differences were so bad that they were afraid it could split the religion. It could split up the people, like how the Jews and Christians are completely different.
Okay, but so you're saying that the Quran was not written down after, or it was not written down until after Muhammad's death?
I would say that there are things like he had scribes. So, during his lifetime, he had, the Quran was being written down by scribes and stuff like that. But like the Quran that you have, and the compilation of the Quran, that all that stuff happened after Muhammad. So you don't have anything going back to Muhammad, really. You don't even have anything going back to Uthman.
Well, I thought the standard edition was compiled and edited by Uthman. and not even that long after Muhammad's death.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was compiled and edited. You said it right. Compiled and edited during Uthman's reign. The first
Right,
compilation
so
was
that
Abu
all
Bakr.
Arabs
The
could
second one was
understand it.
Uthman. So let me ask you this: if if Uthman was able to edit the Quran into a perfect copy, why are there still differences today? And it's not dialect. Arabic
Okay,
words are
so
literally
then
missing.
what are the glaring differences of today? Because I feel like anyone can just sort of, and not really just through interpretation, but people can make their own, differences.
For example,
Like,
I got you. For example, you have do you know who Ibn Masud is?
no, I don't. Well, so okay. My question is, like, what is the difference, or are there differences that are completely different, like from most Muslims' core understanding of Islam? Like, are there core principles of it that are just completely different in one area?
Can be, yeah. Like, well, so one, the core thing is that you believe that every word is the word of Allah. So if every word is the word of Allah spoken in the Quran, then that would mean that he can't contradict himself. Nothing can be changed. This is a core thing in Islam that there's no changes, no differences. So when we go into the Qurans and we see and compare, oh, this one says this and the other one says this, and then you don't even know which one is the right one. Some will have to say, oh, both of them are right, which is silly. Which one is in the tablet with Allah? Which one is in the mother of the book? No
Okay,
answer
but
for
does
that.
it lose meaning? Is what I'm asking, I guess.
Yeah, things change meaning. Let me show you one. So one is a very simple one that I like to show. It's chapter 37, verse 12. In chapter 37, verse 12, it says Allah speaking to Muhammad after he done, recited some verses to disbelievers, and they mocked him. So in verse 12, it said Allah says to Muhammad, "You were surprised while they mocked." Ajebta is the word in Arabic. Ajebta. You were surprised. You were surprised. The ta at the end of Ajebta, it's the you, the speaker saying you were surprised when they mocked, or you wondered why they mocked. Right? In the Hamza Quran and Al Kasai Quran, those two, it's Allah saying, I was surprised when they mocked. I wondered while they mocked. Ajeb 2. So the first one is Ajeb Ta, and the other one is Ajeb 2. May seem like a little small difference, right? With just with how it sounds, but it actually changes the entire meaning of the verse.
Okay, well, it doesn't contradict anything at all, because Allah and His Messenger and all the believers are at shock, wondering how the disbelievers disbelieve in the Quran.
You said that Allah.
Despite its,
You're saying that Allah is shocked at the disbelief?
Well, yeah, so it's not contradicting anything. It's saying that Allah and His Messenger and all of the believers are at shock.
It doesn't say all the believers. It doesn't say and either. It doesn't say Allah and His Messenger. One says that Muhammad was the one who was shocked. The other one in the same exact verse says it was Allah the one that was shocked. Which one did he say?
It's both.
And that's the problem. You have both of these, and you would agree that Allah being shocked is a different meaning.
No, okay, but you're missing
right?
why they were shocked.
I don't
missing why
I don't care why they were shocked. I don't care. Like,
well, because of course Allah and Muhammad would be shocked, and any other Muslim would be shocked.
No worries, bro. If that's how you want to interpret it, that's fine. You can have that. I don't care why. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that these are two completely different Qurans. One Quran says Muhammad was the one who was shocked. The other one says that Allah was the one who was shocked. They have two different words with two different meanings. Would you agree?
I mean, yeah.
Cool. So however you interpret it, you could say, oh, well, they're shocked because of this is that. Fine. No worries. That's irrelevant. The fact that they change and they change the meaning shows this core doctrine of no Quran is different. It's not changed. Every word is from Allah, yada, yada, yada. it collapses. And this is just one example.
Okay, but I don't think it changed believing. I don't think it changes because it's being shocked at how the disbelievers disbelieve in the Quran.
That's fine. Well, it's not. That's fine. Allah is shocked at how the disbelievers disbelieve in the Quran. Muhammad, in the other one, is shocked by how the disbelievers disbelieve in the Quran. No problem. Which one did he say?
I mean, I don't really think that matters. I'm gonna.
It does matter because so then would you agree with me that there's not one
any Muslim would be shocked if a disbeliever
would you agree with me that because of this there isn't just one Quran then? There's multiple.
Okay, but this is not like, and I asked you for something like this is just a, I guess like a, it's not, so your whole thing, you put it under the entire umbrella of like, everything is Allah's word.
That's what you,
that's not really what I was asking. What I was asking is there, like,
are there two,
within the Quran,
before you go further, just simply, can we both acknowledge that there are, at least with the examples that we just saw, that there are at least two Qurans?
But I mean, there's different words. I don't think it loses meaning though. I really don't.
That's okay. Are there two Qurans though? At least.
And the fact that they're different, I mean, sure, I guess.
I appreciate your honesty, man. See, I could talk with somebody that's honest. And the fact that you have these different Qurans with different words, with different meanings, let's even say both the meanings can work, but they're different meanings nonetheless with different words. That's a multiplicity of Qurans. So this whole trope that there is only one Quran, there's only one Quran, it's always been one Quran all the way to Muhammad, from Muhammad, all the they all memorized it the same way. No, that's a lie. There's multiple Qurans, different traditions of memorization. Some people memorize it like, you were surprised. Other people memorize it as I was surprised. It's two different things, two different Qurans. So that's nipped in the bud.